ICEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Hello.
Hola!
Bonjour!
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao!
Ciao! Annyeonghaseyo! Mabuhay!
Welcome to Washington State.
Explore the sights. Discover new things.
Appreciate the arts, music, and food.
Travel to new places.
Meet the people.
Make new friends.
In other words,
come
home with us.
Come home with us.
This is INCRadio Seattle, Washington.
From all over the world. My name is Sister Jenny Martinez. I'm from the local congregation of Seattle, Washington. Super happy to be here today as I will be your host for INC Radio Seattle. Again, thank you so much for joining us today and spending this Saturday morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you're from, with us here. Anyways, today we're going to have an exciting show because we're going to be talking about sports, hence our topic, which is called What's the Catch? Our guest is here today. He'll talk to us a little bit about the kind of sports that he plays, his hobbies, and give us some insight on his experiences on that. So you'll be able to meet him here in a little bit. But before that, we would like to remind you, in case it is your first time with us, we do a fun challenge every weekend where we ask our brethren in the District of Washington State to hashtag the local congregation that they are from. And whichever local congregation hashtags theirs the most will then be announced as our winners for next weekend. And then also whoever chats the most in the live chat will also be announced as one of the most active brethren in the live chat. So please go ahead and get to talking. We will definitely look out for that. And hopefully your local congregation or you as a brethren will be the most active. And we can announce you as winner next weekend. We also do have a question that we'd like to extend to all of you, the viewers. We'd like to ask, what kind of sports do you play or enjoy watching? Please let us know, and we'll go ahead and read that throughout the show. But before we go into any of those things, we would like to introduce our guest who is here. Brother Lester, go ahead and introduce yourself. And if you have any shout outs that you'd like to make, now would be the time to do so.
Hi, my name is Lester. I am from Seattle. Happy to be here this afternoon. Shout out to all my family and friends all over the world.
Thank you, Brother Lester, and shout out to all of your friends and family all over the world. Hi, my name is Sister Jenny, and yeah, thank you so much for being here today. But anyways, are you ready for your discussion?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, yes, I am ready. So first of all, Brother Lester, I know that you play a few sports. So please let us know, what kind of sports do you play?
Uh, yeah, so right now I feel like the sports I play are um some are I guess I want to start growing up. I used to play kind of like the traditional sports I feel like that most people play, like basketball um or sometimes play like flag football at school or in the summers or baseball. And I'm still into those sometimes. I probably watch more of that now, but now as I'm older, I've kind of leaned more towards I do a lot of golfing now, or just recently, but I'm pretty addicted to golfing now. And then kind of the sport of powerlifting um, are the two things that I do now.
So between the two, which one would you say you favor the most?
Um, I kind of go back and forth. I think now that summer is here now, I'm like, because golf is kind of an outdoor sport. So I feel like during the summers, I kind of lean towards more trying to get as much golf time as I can while the weather is good. And then kind of when it's not summer, I feel like I kind of get more into the powerlifting just because that's indoors.
Okay. so that's so that's what makes it you said a winter sport is because it's indoor.
Yeah, and then you can't really, it's hard to golf during the winter time. But I mean, I'm kind of just thinking about this now. It's interesting that the two sports I play are kind of, they're kind of opposite each other. I feel like powerlifting is like pretty intense and um yeah, and hardcore, I guess, kind of, and then golf is kind of like relaxing and kind of like,
Soft
a
core.
lot of soft core, yeah. A lot of old people do it. It's like, it's casual. But I don't know, maybe it's like that's why I like both. It's like a good balance of the two.
You said a lot of old people do it. So does that mean that you're old?
That means I'm old, yeah.
Okay. If you don't mind sharing, how old are you? No, I'm just
I'm
kidding. I'm just kidding. But anyways, so for those who don't know what powerlifting is, because obviously, like, not everyone knows what that sport is. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the sport of powerlifting is basically um in the competitions, the people who compete, there's three lifts that all the competitors do. There's the squat, the bench, and the deadlift, and each competitor has three chances at each of those lifts to, lift the heaviest um, weight for each of those lifts as they can one time, and then they add up each of those lifts, or the heaviest lift they can do for the bench, the deadlift, and the squat, and that's kind of your score. So I've competed for my very first time a few months ago, and yeah, so that's pretty much the sport of powerlifting. You kind of train for weeks before the competition, and on the day of, um yeah, you kind of show what you've worked on. You show how much you can lift, and um yeah, that's powerlifting.
Can you show us an example of how you power lift?
How I powerlift?
Just kidding. I
You
was
can
just kidding, but
follow
no, it
me
was
on
just
you could follow me on Instagram. I have videos if you're actually really interested.
no, I'm just messing. But we're not sponsored by Instagram, by the way. But yes, he does
Oh,
have a page on that platform if you guys want to see the kind of things that he does. But just to confirm, because you did mention that the more you are able to lift, that is your score.
yeah, so your score is literally the amount of weight you can lift for each lift.
Okay, so what is your highest score?
Um, so at the competition, I I squatted 408 pounds, and then I bench pressed um 248 pounds, and then I deadlifted 474 pounds.
Wow, that's actually I didn't even know that, and you're a friend of mine. So, um, yeah, that. How do you even prepare for that? Because I know that, you mentioned like obviously there's preparation that goes into it. So do you just keep
Mhm.
going to the gym and then you just keep on like lifting until you get higher and higher? Or is there even like a max that you should reach, like or not try to like, go over?
Yeah, so actually, or he's a friend of ours. I have a coach who's a mutual friend of ours, PA, who's an actual powerlifting coach. So he kind of wrote me a program, and um, yeah, so basically the program, like I think the last one he did for me was like for 4 or 5 months before the competition, and basically, yeah, you kind of just work on those three lifts primarily, and then there's accessory lifts that you do, and then you're kind of right about, like, there's a max you can go. You don't want to, you're lifting heavy weight, so you don't want to lift too much and get hurt, because it is it can be sometimes dangerous. But um the way the program works is you kind of progress all the way up to your competition, so that you peak at your competition. So yeah, you kind of train like the closer you get to the competition is the probably the more you progress, the heavier the weight you start pushing.
So I know for some people they might, ask like why do you want to see how heavy you can lift? So for you, what made you get into this sport, or like who inspired you to do this?
I think I was just always into going to the gym and lifting, and then I think like one of our friends, PA, is really into powerlifting, and he would always talk to me about it, and I think um just working out with him and trying with him and seeing like the really heavy weight that he does, it was, and then kind of seeing how I was getting stronger, it I think got me into it. And then even just seeing that, like, the work that you put in and seeing the results of it, and then just like lifting heavy weight kind of just gives you an ego boost and makes you kind of feel good about yourself, makes you feel like you're a, I don't know.
Like Macho Man?
Yeah, macho man, you can do anything. It's corny, like you can do anything you put your mind or like work towards. I don't know. It just feels,
Okay.
yeah, it felt good. Feels good.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Macho Man. How about with the golf? Obviously, you did mention how, they're like totally on two different spectrums, and you mentioned with golf that it is more like a laid back. So I'm guessing when you do play that sport, you probably don't feel as macho.
uh yeah, actually, like, yeah, I think you're right. I don't, it's kind of a way different feeling. uh I think what really first got me into golf, when I remember, is like going to Top Golf with my friends, and then one of my friends like actually beat me, and like I just got really competitive. Then I like started like going by myself to like the driving range, and even took like a beginner's like group lesson just to get better. And then I just really started liking it, and then started going with friends more. And I think golf is just so hard. It's just it's actually really, really difficult. You have to have a lot of patience, and I think um yeah, and I think that's what keeps me doing it, just because like it is so hard, and I just want to keep getting better.
Like you just keep challenging yourself.
Yeah. And like there's times where you'll like hit a golf ball like just really pure and like really good, and then like it just feels really good, and it's cool to see, and then like, you just want to like recreate that every time. And it's actually hard to like do that every time, so it's like you're almost like chasing that feeling all the time. um and then like comes every so often, you're like, oh, I'm like in love with this sport again, I'm gonna keep doing it. So I think that's what
Yeah,
attracts me to golf.
it's a good thing that you don't play against me, because I feel like anyone who competes against me will most likely, I'll probably challenge them a lot, just because I think for you personally, like whenever, outside of INC radio, whenever we played sports, I think I always came in first between the two of us.
Yeah, maybe that's why I'm so competitive, because uh you just talk a lot sometimes.
Talk a lot, but there's a lot of action
No,
behind
not
it,
a
as
lot, and
in
not a
like,
lot of action.
no, I think there is. I think there is, but we'll leave it at that. I mean, again, he did mention he has social media, so if you'd like to see any proof of me beating Brother Lester, it's there. Um, so yeah, anyways, thank you so much, Brother Lester, for being here. You'd like to read some responses here from the live chat. We have a response from Sister Michaela Matugas. She says, "Happy viewing po, brethren. Hope you all are having an awesome weekend po. I used to swim po." Oh wow, swimming. Can you swim, Brother Lester? Probably not, huh?
I actually can't swim.
Okay, that's what I thought.
One of the few things I cannot do.
One of the many things. No, I'm just kidding. And then we also have a response from Brother Von Torres. He says, "Football, playoffs, basketball, and hockey. Hashtag Oak Harbor." yes, football is definitely a favorite sport here in the U.S. And then we also have a greeting from Brother Relly Rivera. He says, "Happy Saturday and happy viewing to all brethren around the world. Greetings from Washington State." And then also a greeting from Sister Diane Laredo. She says, "Not sure if it's considered a sport, but I like to participate in races. I've done 5Ks, a 10K, and a half marathon. Hoping to run a marathon too. One today. Hashtag Seattle." Yeah, I did hear about a marathon happening today. I believe some of our friends are going to be running that marathon, but God bless on that. Also, a response from Sister Rosalina Brown. She says, "Swimming is my sport." Awesome. Hopefully, Sister Rosalina, you can teach Brother Lester how to swim because very important. Anyways, thank you so much for everyone who responded in the live chat. We'll go ahead and now move on to Brother Andrew with our CFO in action and all the announcements and updates happening here in Washington State.
Thank you so much, Sister Jenny. I would love to join in also. I need to relearn swimming, but without further ado, let's talk about our CFO in action for today. But before we go ahead and talk about our future activities, we'd like to remind all of you about our previous activities that we conducted in our district of Washington State. So last Saturday, May 18, there was a regional blood drive and chapel landscaping. The regional blood drive was from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in 2 sites, in the Kent Chapel and in the Everett Chapel. So we'd like to thank all of those who donated blood, as well as our many guests who were also there to support each other. I remember donating blood myself and how that felt last year. Further, we also had our Monday district baptism last Monday at 7:30 p.m. in the Seattle Chapel. For the future activities, for May 27, we'll have our district Pasugo Drive or God's Message magazine distribution. This will be in Philip Arnold Park in Renton, Washington at 10 a.m. Let's be prepared to share our faith. Bring your sports gear. There are basketball, baseball, and volleyball courts. On May 31st, there's a regional Tagalog EVM or Evangelical Mission. This is a Bible study, and it's held by a region in our district at 7:30 p.m. I also want to talk about our local Bible missions for other days of the week in Seattle. For this coming week, it will be on Tuesday and Wednesday because of our district activities for the local of Seattle. For Seattle weather, we've experienced a lot of rain and sun. So tomorrow it will be rainy, and on Tuesday it will also be rainy. So it won't be as consistent, but that's what we are. We are prepared. Thank you so much for listening to these updates. Back to you, Sister Jenny.
Thank you so much, Brother Andrew, for all of the updates, and hopefully, for everything that he has mentioned, we'll be able to, for future activities, we'll be able to see you guys all here at the activities. And so, yeah, thank you once again, Brother Andrew, for all of that. We also would like to remind you guys all, if you're not already, the different ways that we can get connected. If you log onto YouTube and you type in INCRadio DZEM 954, you'd be able to find us there. And when you do find us, please don't forget to subscribe. We also have our website, incradio.org. So if you aren't already connected, please do get connected or share this with your friends and family, because you never know, you may be helping somebody. And this is a great way to get in touch with brethren from all over the world. So again, thank you, Brother Lester, for being here on INC Radio Seattle. On behalf of INC Radio Seattle, we'd like to give a huge thank you to our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. We'd also like to thank our Subsea President and overall CFO Overseer, Brother Angelo Manalo. We'd also like to thank our District Minister of Washington State, Brother Ramilo Virgino, to our CFO Overseer, Brother Chris Valdez, and our Executive Producer, Brother Manly Andaya, and of course to all of you, the listeners. And lastly, but not the least, thank you to our INC Radio Tech crew. It is because of all of you that we get to do this every Saturday and get to connect with those from all over the world. Thank you so very much. From INC Radio Seattle, we'll see you later.